Hey, Josh, how you doing? How you doing? Good to hear.
How are you? There's someone walking down this way. Oh, okay.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm glad that you're all here. You get extra cool rabbi points for being here the day after Thanksgiving, which is traditionally a very hardly. I think this is about triple what I usually see on the day after. This is actually going really well for us. This is more of like what I call like a casual Shabbat. As you can tell, I'm wearing more casual clothes. I ate too much yesterday, and so now I can't fit in my normal clothes. So there we go. So anyway, but we have the great honor of having Naomi and Sarah lighting the Shabbat candles for us on page 120 of your prayer books. Sorry, I got totally distracted. Yes, off you go. Yes. You guys, hold on here. You need the blessing or you already know it? You know it? Oh my goodness.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. Amen. Okay. And Naomi, stick around. Yes. We have another amazing honor today. So normally I say, the Mitra brothers are going to be singing to us, but no more. It's now the Mitra siblings, which is super exciting. So we're going to start on page 128, and we're going to go on from there. Take the stage. Make sure the stage is on for you. Oh yeah, we're good.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
Now we're going to skip right over to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba be'alma divrach yotev yamlik malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayerechol be'Yisrael bagala uvizman kariv v'imaru amen. Yehesh me rabba mevarach le'olam ulal me'almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yibromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei v'kudusham b'richu le'elam min kol birchatav v'shiratam tush b'chatav v'nechemata damiram be'alma v'imaru amen. We now move to the Baruch Hu on page 146, and when you arrive there, I invite you to stand with us.
Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Baruch Adonai HaMevorach
we now move to page 148. No, not you two. 148. And then we're going to sing this song in the middle of that page. 148.
ומעביר יום, ומעביר יום, ומעביר יום, ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמידים לו, עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב הערבים, ומביא יום, ומביא יום, ומביא יום, ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמידים לו, עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב הערבים, יא לה לה לה, 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 יא לה לה לה.
And you're now invited to join me in the English on the bottom of page 151. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Now move to the Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed. Moving along to page 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meyodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vashinartam levarnecha badivartam va'am vashivtecha bevetecha uvlektecha havaderech ushofecha uvkumecha ukshartam leyot al yadecha v'hayula totafot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha ubisharecha leman tizkeru v'atzitem et chol mitzvotaim v'tem kiroshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem leElohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. We now move to Micha Mocha on page 158.
Ya la 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 la, ya la la.
Sorry,
Oh, no.
I saw it.
Oh no. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la,
Amaru on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We now turn to page 164. I invite you to rise for the Amidah. Adonai sefataytika ufia Adonai sefataytika ufia Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Ha'gadol Ha'gibor V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mei Geulah Livnei Bneihem, Le'man Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer V'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayev Kol HaTorah V'Yoshia, Mashiach Haruach U'Marim HaGashem, Mechayev Chaim Ve'Chesed, Mechayev HaKol Ve'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Be'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Mikamo Chaval Geburot, U'Midom Elah, Melech Memit U'Mechayeh, U'Matzliach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, I'll continue silently until page 180. Maybe seated whenever you like. Sit down.
Ose shalom bimroma, Huya se shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, vimru amen. Ose shalom bimroma, Yase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, vimru amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
So, as is the Thanksgiving Shabbat tradition that we started just at this one, is that I tell a story instead of saying a sermon. And so, on Sundays, we run a program called Shabbat Time Machine, where all the kids, we have like this whole Shabbat program where we go back in time by a day and pretend that's Shabbat. And I always offer a Shabbat story on Sundays, right? So it's nice to tell a Shabbat story on actual Shabbat. Let's just hope that doesn't steal my thunder for being too cute. Yeah. Okay, we'll see how it goes. All right, here we go. So most of the stories that I tell, they usually start from like a Jewish story, but I really embellish them. This is a story about a character I made up called Miriam Bruria, who is a woman of valor. Anyways, so Ash, you're gonna act out the story? Is that what you're gonna do? Yeah, okay. So once upon a time, I can't tell a story with you holding on to my leg. Okay, how about you sit down with your mom then? There we go. Okay. So once upon a time, there was this king, and he was traveling in a carriage, and it happened to be Thanksgiving, and he was looking forward to getting home to have his Thanksgiving meal. Unfortunately, his carriage breaks down like in the middle of nowhere. And so he finds the closest house he can, to maybe call for help for his carriage, and knocks on the door. And who opens it but Miriam Bruria? Miriam, now, when you open the door, the last thing you expect is for like a full king to be on the other side, wearing the crown and all that business. But there he was. And she was like, "Can I help you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, but my carriage broke down. I know it's Thanksgiving, and I hate to impose on you, but we have nowhere to go." Well, she's like, "Well, join us in our Thanksgiving." And he's like, "Well, thank you." So he walks in and he sees, like, it's a small home, but the table is just laden with Thanksgiving food. And so she sits them down at the front of the table and they eat, and he is just loving it. All the food is so tasty. The turkey is just right. She like brined it for like 3 days. You know what I mean? That like, she went all out for just her family, not expecting a king to be there, but there a king was eating her Thanksgiving meal, and the king was into it. So anyways, the carriage gets fixed and the king could be on his lovely way. And as he's leaving, he's like really already missing the yummy food that he had. And so the next day, Friday, today, essentially, he decides just to stop by again, just randomly, and for another meal, assuming, of course, there would be something just as delicious. And so he goes by again, knocks on the door. Miriam Bruria opens the door, not really expecting a king a second time, right? The first time is random. The second time is like ridiculous. She's like, "Okay, king, like, I'm glad to see you again, but like, what are you doing here?" And the king said, "I'm sorry to impose on you, but I just couldn't stop thinking about your meal. And I wanted to come by and have another one." And she's like, "Well, sorry, king, disappoint you, but it's Shabbat. And on Shabbat, we don't really eat much, mostly just bread or challah and soup." And the king is really put out. But, it's a little bit of a schlep to get back to his castle. So he decides, "Okay, well, can I just have and stay here and have some challah and soup?" And she's like, "I mean, sure, if that's what you want to do." And so he comes in, he sits down, and he has a little bit of challah to be polite, but it's like really good. So he has some more, and he's like, "Oh, okay, this is awesome." So he keeps eating the challah, and she has an endless amount of challah, and then he has some of the soup, a little bit just to be nice, and it's really, really tasty. So he keeps eating the soup and the challah and the soup, and he's totally full. And he's like, "I need to know, like, what special spice, like, or what's like your recipe?" And she's like, "Well, special spice is Shabbat, and that makes it so good." And she's like, "Great. Now, can you give me a little bit of that Shabbat spice so I can give it to my advisors and they can make more of it for me?" And she's like, No. So how this works? She's like, "The spice of Shabbat, you can't give it away. You can only share it. And when you share the spice of Shabbat, that's how you delight into it." And that's the end of my story. Yeah, I felt so good to get that story on actual Shabbat for once, and not on a Sunday. Isn't that right, Lila? Yes. Okay, we're now moving on to the Misha Berach, which you can find on page 371. I lost track of my Misha Berach list, it looks like. Yeah, okay. Oh, well. All right, so 371. If there's someone who you are thinking of in our community who is in need of healing, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts as my hand crosses the room.
משבר אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema.
turn to the Elenu, which you can find on page 587 of your prayer books. When you get there, I invite you to rise. 587. Turn to page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hands but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas. And light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. We now turn to the Mourner's Kosh on page 598 of your prayer books. And in our own community, we're thinking about these yard sites this week. Arthur Bashuk, Jose Kravitz, Sylvia Goldman, Glenise Silverman, Ray Spiro, Marshall Zeman. We're also Pirish Shloshim for Philip Kaufman. If there's some who you are thinking of, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your heart as my hand crosses the room. Zikrun Livracha, may the memory be for a blessing. Yit Kedal v'Yit Kedash Shemei Rabbah, V'Elma Divrach Chayote v'Amlik Machute, B'Chayechon uV'Yamechon uV'Chaye L'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uV'Zman Kari v'Imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mebarak Le'olam Ulamei Almaya, Yitbarak v'Yishtabach v'Yitpa'ar v'Yipramam v'Yitnaseh, V'Yitadar v'Yitale v'Yitalal Shemir Kudusha Berechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata v'Shirata Tushbechata v'Nechamata Dat Miram Be'elma v'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlam Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleni v'Yakol Yisrael v'Imru Amen. Osei Shalom v'Imro Mav Hu Ya'asei Shalom Aleni v'Yakol Yisrael v'Imru Amen. The one who creates harmony on high, bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. Okay, let's think. Announcement. So we have Oneg after this, so that's great. And then tomorrow we have morning meeting at 10:30, and we have Torah Uncensored at 12:30 on our Zoom room. That's tomorrow. And then morning minyan at Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. And then don't forget about our Hanukkah party on December 23rd, which is a Shabbat. So we'll have a Shabbat first, a quick Shabbat service, and then we'll have our Hanukkah party after that. I'm just like seeing those feet right there, and it's hilarious. Sorry. Okay, and I think that's all the announcements for now. It's quiet. Okay, so our closing melody will be Shalom Alechem, which is on page, I don't know what page it's on. Hold on. Oh, 142. What? There's semi-annual meeting. Thank you. When is that? December 14th. Hey, I did forget one. Semi-annual meeting, December 14th. Is that going to be on Zoom or in person? We figure that out yet? Okay, Zoom. We definitely get better attendance on Zoom. Yeah. Okay. 142. Shalom Aleichem, 140. I turned right to it for the first time ever. 142. Yeah.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boakim LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Makuni LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Titkim LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Yes. Naomi, you did a great job. It was so good to hear you. Yes.
And Josh, he did good too. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You got elbows? What?
How many do you have? Do you have 3 elbows?
No,
Just the 2? Okay, good to know.
You have 2 hands? I thought it'd be at 4 hands.
No, just the 2 hands? Okay.
Yeah, she counts the other two as pillows.
Oh, right.
Are we making friends?
Oh, hey, we're making friends.
Okay.
Big old. Wait, hold on. You know, that so pretty good. With Mr. Lee.